Hello and welcome to my 61st video. Today I'm going to be reviewing some Pioneer equipment that I've had over the years. And first off, I'm going to be reviewing the Pioneer VSX-9900S. Next I'll be reviewing the PD-M710 CD player. And lastly, I'll be reviewing the PL-X505 linear tracking turntable. Now, the first one I'm going to review is from 1991. It was one of the first surround sound receivers that Pioneer put out, and it's a powerhouse. As you can see, there's buttons galore on it, and every one of them has a different function, and every one works good. This is the first type of generation of receivers where they put more power to the front speakers than they did to the rear and the center speakers. This one having 125 watts per channel to the front speakers, and then 40 watts to the rear and center speakers, that's per channel. And this is a very powerful receiver. A lot of people I've seen over the years reviewing these particular ones say that when they bought them back in 1991, they thought about upgrading, and they did upgrade, but usually what they bought didn't have anywhere near the sound quality of this particular model, so they returned their newer ones and still stick with these after nearly 30 years. It has a plethora of inputs and outputs on the back, no digital, and of course no HDMI or anything like that. It's just your composite stuff, but it's got everything under the sun back there that you would like. It does have the push button style speaker connectors, and it does also have the screw down speaker connectors for the mains. This was rated at, like I say, about 500 watts total, and it also had a total harmonic distortion of 0.005%. Compare that to some of the newer models these days, which are like 0.05%, which is about 100 times more distortion than this particular one. So if it's clear music you want, this is the way to go. A lot of people have upgraded to surround sound receivers, but they've never given up this receiver, and they use it for 2-channel stereo, and that's what I'm doing now. My main surround sound system is a Denon, really nice Denon, and this one I use for 2-channel, and I don't regret it. It's at 125 watts a channel on the mains, like what I'm having hooked up right now. It's plenty of power. It does have all the inputs for tuners and tapes and phono, which is something that newer Pioneers don't have these days. They abandoned the phono a long time ago, along with Sony. There's not too many of the newer stuff out there right now that really does include phono, except for maybe Onkyo and Denon. But this also has like VCR 1, 2, and 3. You can hook it up to your TV, and it's basically, like I say, an AV receiver, but a very early AV receiver. And it has great sound, and right now I've got it hooked up to a tuner. You can see there's a equalizer here for bass and treble, which doesn't really show you much compared to some of the other models that are out there that have an electronic equalizer, but we don't really need it. And then this, of course, has also all the Hall and ProLogic and Jazz and Church and all that other stuff as far as the early AV settings go. and right now I'm tuned to one of the radio stations here, and I'll turn it up just briefly to show you what it sounds like.
Protect your employees, your company, and your community with CarePoint, the first voice-activated, touch-free temperature checking time system from...
She knows how to care for me.
And when it's hooked up to some real speakers that are floor standing, it sounds even better. These are just a pair of Sonys that I have two ways with a bass reflex on them. It definitely gets much louder and nicer if you got a few $100 pair of speakers or much more expensive. It can handle a lot of power. I can't speak highly enough about this particular receiver. The next generation they came out with was the VSX-9900S, which a lot of people have spirited debates about which of the two are better. I'm up in the air about it because I have one of each, and the quality is pretty much the same. The D1S maybe has a little bit more aesthetic niceness to it, but quality-wise, sound-wise, they're very, very similar. Next, I'm going to review here the Pioneer PD-M710, which is one of their, in 1989 when that came out, was the top end of the CD spectrum for them. It is a 6-disc changer. And as you can see, there's just a plethora of numbers and different things here. You can access each disc separately. You can program or access the tracks manually if you want to. Of course, you got your standard eject and fast forward and rewind and next track, previous track, play and pause, all that kind of stuff. A separate knob here for the volume of the headphones. It also has a fixed and variable analog output, which is your standard RCA jacks. The sound quality on this receiver, because it was the top of the line, is pretty darn good. I'm going to briefly play a track on one of my CDs here too, so you can see what that sounds like. I just need to put it into CD mode, which it now is, and turn this up a little bit, hit play.
There's no...
As you can tell, there's a lot of clarity to that particular track, and basically any track you play, because it's like I say, a really good CD player. And it was something that I was lucky enough to find probably 20 years ago at a thrift store for a very, very reasonable price, and I've used it quite a bit since then, and it's a real workhorse. I've never had any problems with it. And the nice thing about the Pioneers, their discs that they have for the CDs themselves are all pretty much universal. So if you have a cartridge for one of them, you can pretty much use it in all of them, which makes it nice. And it's almost a universal size, where a lot of other companies copied them so that you can actually use Pioneer cartridges in other brands too. Some of them are more proprietary, but there's a lot of them that are the same size and they can be used. So it makes it kind of an industry standard, which is a big help. And As you can see, it's a very nice looking unit, as well as the receiver itself. They go really good together. And like I say, if I had better speakers hooked up right now, you'd really hear the difference between that and what I've got right now, hooked up just for demonstration purposes. The last thing I'm going to review, which I'm going to have to move my camera a little bit higher up so you can see, is the PL-X505 linear tracking turntable that came out in 1986, just as the CD was getting into in a foothold in this industry, and it was one of their last linear tracking turntables. And it wasn't too long after that that they pretty much gave up on turntables, as more and more people were getting into the CD era. Now they make new ones again, like a lot of the various manufacturers are doing, both brand name and not so brand name. But this is their foray into the linear tracking market in '86. They'd been doing that for a few years ahead of that, with different models. And what I'm going to play for you here today is a track from a record. In order to do that, I need to put it on phono first. And turn it up a little bit here. As you can see, that also works, and it works well. This particular record has been played many, many times, so you can hear a little bit of distortion in it, but it still plays pretty well for its age. It's about a 40-year-old record, and that is the review I have for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. All three of these were respectively top of the line in the years they came out, so it makes for a nice system when you've got everything that's the best that they offered. And I'm happy to have them, and I'm happy to show them to you. Hopefully it's something that you agree with, that it was well worth your time to watch this video if you watched it this far. And if you have, please like my video, and please leave any comments that you might have. If you look in my stuff here, you'll notice that I do have plenty of comments left, and I do answer every one of them as soon as I can, usually within a day. And I hope you can do the same. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.